Welcome back to the Nasdaq studios. I am your host, Maddie DeWalt, and we are live at Silicon Slopes. Joined with me today is Chris Klomp, who is the former CEO of Collective Medical and the current chief evangelist of PointClickCare. It's a wonderful, thank you, it was a mouthful. Chris, it's so lovely to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Maddie.
First of all, can you tell us a little bit about PointClickCare, the recent merger, and what you guys do?
Absolutely. So PointClickCare runs the largest real-time care coordination network for patients in the country. So 70% of the skilled nursing facilities in the country, 50% of the assisted living facilities serving seniors, more than a third of the hospitals, every national health plan, tens of thousands of other providers covering care for 100 million patients in the country use our software. And what we do is we build real-time medical records for all these patients as they move from one care setting to another. And we look for patterns of risk. We're trying to understand, is somebody about to have an overdose? Are they about to be prescribed a medication that's going to cause a complication given their history? Are they about to end up readmitting to a hospital or land in an unplanned emergency department stay? And if we can anticipate that, and when we anticipate that, we find the right stakeholder. Could be their physician, nurse, case manager, social worker, whoever it is in their care ecosystem, and we activate them. And we push the information they need, the medical records, the snippets, into whatever workflow works best for them to say, heads up, this is Maddie, we're worried about her for XYZ reasons, here's what you need to know, we need you to intervene and stop it from happening. And the result of this is patients who have better care journeys, they get healthier faster without bad things happening, fewer people die, fewer people have adverse outcomes, and we do it a lot less expensively.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible. What do you think has been the holdup in having these easy ways to access your medical records, to be able to track from hospital to hospital? What is the challenge here?
Yeah, you won't like the answer. It's a frustrating answer. Get this, like north of 80% of all healthcare communication still happens via the fax machine, followed up by phone calls. Get it? It's like 2021. When's the last time you shut up somewhere and somebody's like, I'll send you a fax? You're like, great. 1990s calling, let me go grab my fax machine
Before
and my time machine from there. I didn't even exist on the planet. And yet that's literally how we're communicating. Yeah. So you can imagine for complex patients, vulnerable patients, which are the cohorts that we're particularly focused on as a company. So these are individuals who are uninsured. They may struggle with housing insecurity, food insecurity, or seniors who need to navigate multiple different care settings. They slip through the cracks. They move from a hospital to a senior living facility, a skilled nursing facility, to home and back to their primary care provider. And all this information is moving potentially, at best, via paper and faxes or paper charts strapped to their chest in an ambulance. Of course there are going to be mistakes. Yeah. Of course there's going to be duplicate prescriptions and patients will slip through the cracks. That's crazy. And so we are hell-bent on a mission of stopping that and ensuring that no vulnerable patient slips through the cracks. And it's a catchy, cute little buzz line or whatever it is. But that's what motivates us. That's the mission.
Incredible. And I think it's so important that this is happening in real time so you can actually, anticipate and get ahead of it. So really, really incredible to hear. And tell me a little bit, you guys, how do you balance doing this, amazing social good work with being for profit?
Yeah, look, we're very much for profit. We're for profit at Collective Medical. PointClickCare is a privately held, large for-profit company. I don't see those as those concepts of doing well by doing good. I don't see that as antithetical in the least. In fact, I think you could argue that kind of more social benefit has been generated for society by for-profit organizations that had the right mission and aligned their mission and their vision, their culture, their values, than any other organizational type. So I don't see that as difficult. If you walk into the halls of PointClickCare today, it will feel like a nonprofit. If you talk to members of the sales team, members of our clinical teams or our engineering teams, every single one of them has some personal reason that they joined the business. And it's usually because either they or a loved one lost their health at some point in time. And it's something that we all take for granted. Nobody thinks about healthcare. Nobody sits and says, yay, I can't wait to have a hospital stay. Like, that'll be fun. Let's do that instead of Disneyland. But it becomes very personal and very real when you lose your health or somebody that you love lose their health. And so that's what motivates people. And those are the kind of people that we hire. And then it's not so hard to do well by doing good. Wow. The right decisions, they come naturally.
Incredible. So what's next? What do you see in the future of patient care?
I think we are bound and determined to make more progress on this. We're particularly focused in the senior care population. So again, another interesting statistic, by 2030 there will be more seniors in the country than children in the country for the first time ever. And we're already a $3.5 trillion industry in healthcare that's economically utterly unsustainable. And so we have to do something about that. Those individuals deserve dignity and an extraordinary end-of-life experience. And yet, how we care for them, how we ensure that they don't slip through the cracks, how we ensure that care teams who are responsible for stewarding their care make the best possible decisions with the right information at their fingertips, that's our business, that's our focus, that's what we're very determined to ensure happens. And so, and we're well positioned to do that when you have literally 70% of skilled nursing and other facilities using the software.
That's incredible to hear. Let's talk a little bit too, while we're at Silicon Slopes and you were a board member there, you've seen this community grow for the past 4 to 5 years. How is it this year looking back and this tremendous growth and looking at this new budding community in Utah?
Yeah, look, it's extraordinary. What Josh James, what Clint Betts built and conceived of in the early innings has become bigger than I'm certain actually anyone ever realized. I used to live and work in Silicon Valley. I lived and worked in the Northeast, in Boston and New York. They're amazing startup ecosystems. It's different here. It feels different. It's extraordinarily collaborative. I remember when I first moved here and we were a nothing, no name, barely any revenue startup, and I get introduced to the luminaries, people like Josh, like Ryan Smith of Qualtrics, Aaron Sconard of Pluralsight, right? Like the grandfathers now,
favorites,
and they all responded. And they're all like, great, let's go to lunch. How do I help you? This is who you need to use for legal. Let me help you here. Here's how you think about this. Oh, this person can help you on your go-to-market. They didn't have to do that. And so everyone pays it forward. That's the ecosystem. It's not even co-opetition. It's just straight up collaboration, and it's extraordinary. And we saw this even more so in COVID, where the entire community came together. And it wasn't just the tech community, it was the tech community with the rest of the community, with government, saying like, how do we solve this? How do we stay open? How do we test? How do we help people be healthy? It's just, there's an amazing spirit here, and it's unique, and it's unlike anything I've experienced anywhere else in the country. And we feel so lucky to get to be a part of it.
Wow. Well, Chris, that is absolutely incredible. It is so wonderful to talk to you. And one final question too, you guys just recently merged just a year ago with PointClickCare. How has that transition been?
Yeah, it's these things are bittersweet. You don't build companies to sell them. You build companies because you see a problem, and probably you've got the bug and you realize it's pretty addicting to see a problem and realize wait, I could solve that, and then actually go solve it. Yeah. And so it's a little bit hard to let go sometimes. Yeah. But when you find the right home, where there is that alignment of mission, vision, culture, values, which we absolutely have with PointClickCare, it's amazing because you know that the thing can outlive you, and it becomes bigger than anything you ever felt like you were going to build alone in the first place. And that's exactly the experience we've had, and we just could not feel luckier.
So glad to hear that. Well, we're honored to have you.
Thanks so much for
talking to me.
Time. I appreciate it, Maddie.
Absolutely.